Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of the Coffee Course, and we're back with you guys again doing another coffee tasting. So this week we are tasting from Stone Valley in Clonakilty in County Cork. It's called Dream in My Pocket, a Rwandan coffee. The guys have a small scale roastery down there, and they're also musicians, so all the bags are actually named after song titles, and I know they're always looking for suggestions, so if you have anything particular you'd like to send them, give them a shout. So as regards this particular coffee, it's a natural, it's a red bourbon, it's Rwandan as we mentioned. In Rwanda, coffee is their most important crop. Today we brewed it in two different ways. We did a Kalita and we did an AeroPress. The expectation from this coffee and the tasting notes is for strawberry, vanilla and caramel. Now, we certainly found it to be both tropical and juicy, but perhaps not as clean as our previous tasting. With the Kalita, we found some medium acidity. With the AeroPress, we actually found a much more powerful aroma due to the finer grind. As regards our recipes, we went for 14 grams in with 200 grams out on the AeroPress with a bloom of 50 seconds. And with the Kalita, we went with a pretty standard 15 grams in, 250 grams out with a total time of 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So back to how the coffee actually tastes. So we have our Kalita here. I'm just going to try a little drop again. My own personal preference for any filter coffees is to actually let them cool down a little bit, and you'll find a more good representation of the qualities of the coffee then. Okay, so I'm now going to compare that to the taste from the AeroPress. So, certainly an enjoyable coffee. As we mentioned, not as juicy as a washed coffee, perhaps even not as clean. That's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a representation of the style of the coffee. I prefer the Kalita, for sure, myself personally. Tom, what was your preference, do you think?
Big time. I was a big fan of the Kalita as well. Really juicy, clean, well, as clean as it can be, a cup of coffee. I really enjoyed it. Jeff, one other thing, can you give us a little lowdown on the difference between whole bean and then pre-ground beans?
Yeah, I know that we actually spoke a little bit about this earlier on because I just happened to get a bag of coffee from a friend who wanted me to try it out, and it came from a coffee roaster in the UK. Now, to be fair, we won't say who it is, but very interestingly, they do supply the coffee ground. Now, it says that the ground coffee is best suited for filter and cafetiere, but they also have a picture of an AeroPress and a picture of a French press in this. So, to me, I don't understand this.
Why?
Because you're looking at a grinder and you have maybe 5 full stops of a difference between where you would grind an AeroPress and where you grind for a French press. So I attempted to make this morning, and I say attempted because I did my usual V60 method. I was trying to make 500 mils in one of my range servers, and at 6 minutes in, I gave up because the water just quite simply wasn't traveling through enough. So I ended up with a really long extraction of this coffee. And the only tasting note I could give for it was that it tasted like coffee, because I really couldn't get anything else out of it. So we've spoken often on the show about the importance of quality of grind and even a quality grinder, and maybe investing in a grinder first. And I think this just reiterates to me that if you're going to buy coffee, either have the capacity to grind it yourself at home, or buy from a venue that has the capacity to grind for you appropriate to your method. I understand that that's not always available for everyone, and maybe if you want to just buy a present and you're not sure, but I've often had people who've bought presents here for people and they bring back the coffee and we'll grind it appropriately for them, because there's nothing worse than getting a bag of coffee and not being able to make it in your preferred method, or just making it and being really disappointing. So yeah, whole bean always better, like both in terms of overall freshness and actual suitability for purpose. So if you can, that's the way to go. So as we said, that this week was the coffee from the guys in Stone Valley in Clonakilty in Cork. This is their new packaging and branding, as you said on the song titles. We've been working with the lads for a couple of months now. They have a nice range of coffees that they've sourced. We also just picked up some coffee this week from Soma in Cork, so we're doing our best at the moment, and we're going to continue to do so to source within Ireland and only have Irish roasted coffees on the shelves, because we feel there's enough of a wide range of skill sets and types here available. So if you have any particular recommendations or anything that you'd like to get in touch with us, then give us a shout by all means, and we'd be happy to try out some sample bags.